Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a subject I get hit with a lot. Let's just put it this way. I get a lot of comments on this issue. Now, I know some of you guys don't want me to address troll comments or collective ignorance in any way, shape, or form, but the truth is that educating has to do with educating people who are uneducated. So if I only educate the people who are educated, who's getting educated? Right? So that's why I make the videos, is to educate people. Now, not everybody's going to be open to what I say, and I'm okay with that. I mean, in the end, I'm actually telling you not to listen to me either. I'm saying to follow your own experiments and find out what works. But the thing I get over and over again, and this is where you're going to get something from this video, even if you believe in all the philosophies I say, or at least have some sort of resonance with that, you're going to get something out of this video. And that is, over and over again, you will get people telling you what you should be doing with your body and how it should work. Now, suggestions are one thing. Suggestions are reasonable. You should always be open to suggestions or trying things, seeing what works. 100%. I understand that all of us can get locked into one way of doing something and therefore be stuck in some sort of limited belief system or something. But in the end, if you try certain techniques and they turn out to harm you or cause damage or cause the wrong type of pain, then that cannot be the answer for you in your training. So, case in point, I know my entire life, even when I was a kid, when I would do leg presses or pushing movements, if I pushed off the knees primarily, like Tom Platz, I would get massive knee pain. It never ever abated, no matter how much rehabilitation work I did, no matter how much deep sort of body weight squat type training I did. If I'm doing, certain types of stretches or whatever, like nothing worked. I just had to finally surrender to how my body was. And then I ended up building unbelievable legs from it. Now, some people say, oh, you built legs? Oh, but you're doing everything wrong. I'm like, wait a second. It's the same argument I talked about in a previous video, is that this is just stupidity in action. It's people trying to justify their belief systems as opposed to reality. And this is where you are going to come face to face with this. You're going to come face to face with your own belief systems, and you have to let them go. But you're also going to come face to face with the belief systems of other supposed experts. Now, I just had somebody make a really stupid comment in the video. This guy supposedly thinks he's a rehab specialist and he's the best in the world and he has success with everybody, and he said, I'm horrible at this, I'm bad at my job, whatever. And the thing is that this person's pretending that they know exactly how my body works and what's going on in it. They know exactly. There's no assessment or nothing. They just assume right away that their hammer fits my nail, right? Can hammer my nail, because all they have is a certain level of education. Now, I'm going to explain this. There is a difference between reading something that somebody else discovered and then applying that something as the solution to everything, as opposed to realizing or experiencing a solution to something. Now, the problem is with education is that it builds an ego. And I find a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, when they read something or watch something or go to school for something and they get a nice little certificate, they assume that they are now wise, that the information or tools that they've been given somehow apply to all circumstances. Meanwhile, the people who wrote the textbooks that they're reading and studying are people like me who were in the trenches, right? And not always were they saying, these are the only techniques, but a lot of times the student will believe these are the only techniques in order to heal you. So, case in point, I've gotten more problems from going to physiotherapy than I ever got helped. Now, not all physiotherapists are the same. Some of them are awesome, but the ones that I went to were horrible. They didn't know anything of what they were talking about when it came down to sport-specific training or what I was doing with my body. So, through experience, through trying different ranges of motion, going deep squats for years, like it was several years I was doing deep squats, and what I noticed was I wasn't getting pain during the workout, but then when I was skating at night or even days later, I started to develop a chronic inflammation in the tendons, right? Now, I wasn't doing ass to the grass, of course, but I was getting, slowly but surely, something was creeping up on me. Something was saying, hey, this doesn't really work for you. And I noticed that as much as I was trying to push myself into that, because I was trying to meet the expectations of other people, my body was saying, no, that doesn't work for me. And I had to surrender to the body as the guru instead of other people's opinions based on their own ignorance, based on their own misguided education, right? As somebody said, you know, to a person who wields a hammer, everything is a nail. And that's the problem. They think the hammer is the only tool. Now, wisdom is developed through experience and through being open to expanding your experience. So by all means, try different techniques, try different ranges of motion, try stretching, rehabilitation if you're noticing that your knees or your elbows or your shoulders aren't working right. But you may have to land on the very technique that you started with in the first place that didn't give you pain. It is very possible that that's going to happen. And there are people out there who believe that that's stupid, that doesn't exist, that somehow your body doesn't move differently than theirs. So it's pretty much, it's really a reflection of the lack of compassion in the world right now, where people feel that their way of doing something is the only way. And because that also makes them a profit, because that's another reason why some people troll onto my channel, is that they say their technique is the best and all this kind of stuff, because what they're trying to do is build their business and build their brand. They're trying to say, I'm the expert. Jason, you're not an expert at all. And I'm okay, I don't need to be an expert, but I'm gonna share my experience and help people find what their experience is. But a lot of times people get in there and they just try to start a war. And the reason why they do this is because they want people to come to them and they want to build their brand, but it has nothing to do with truth. You see, truth has to do with your natural state and the state of your body, like how does it dance with the forces of life? And only through embracing that can you start to begin to become sober about what the reality is, about what range of motion you should be using, how to train, how to eat, right? So by all means, explore all options, explore all the reasons why your body might not be functioning a certain way, but don't be surprised if it just is that way. That's really what I'm going to say. That sometimes your body just moves a certain way. And it's only through this collective hive mind on the internet that people have become so obsessed with how you're supposed to move. It's become, you know, some sort of popular society of bullshit, you know? So yeah, I just wanted to make a video about that because, like I said, I get this every time, you know, I have a video that goes up in views a little bit. I always get these comments because there's always, let's just say, people with very low amount of wisdom, right? They learn something, they read it somewhere, maybe they even get a degree, and then they think they know everything based on what they read, but never really experienced. Otherwise, they wouldn't be saying what they're saying. So, yeah, so I hope this helps out your training. Mountain. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalglambodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now.